Microsoft, that is Excel. So everyone has to work on Excel for different purposes. Like as mentioned by Bhushan, it might be data collection, analyzing data, preparing reports, and too many stuff. So to have this particular, everyone has to have some edge on this product. So if you become a master in Excel, that will automatically help you to work faster. So it can save your time, it can save your uh, what you can say, even in a cost also, because how many employees or how many employee hours you save, that automatically help you to save you at your cost, and even increase your efficiency, timeliness, accuracy, and all this stuff is there. So before moving to Power Query, I would like to know that I hope every one of you is using Excel. So the basic commands like VLOOKUP, pivots, even subtotals, data validations. So I guess you are aware of. If not, we will definitely get in touch with on that also in next session. So I guess you will have a brief idea on how it works and how it will benefit to us. Okay. So not by not wasting more time, I will share my screen and we will get started. Okay. So just confirm whether my screen is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, Amol sir. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
your screen is
Okay.
visible.
Okay. Yeah. So just be online. So for making this session more efficient and interactive, I would like to go English. So it will be Hindi English mix. So we can connect it better and we can grasp accordingly. And if you have any question, we can conclude on that also. So basically, uh, first of all, the Power Query, a tool which is given by Microsoft in its Excel, it's a life-changing tool which which basically use to automate your data, clean up your data, uh, do faster analysis, prepare some dashboards and all. So by using this, you can save, as I already mentioned, you can save lots of time, cost and all. So basically, a Power Query is one of the feature which provide you access to both Microsoft products, that is Microsoft Excel as well as Power BI. So I thought some of you heard about Power BI. What is Power BI? It's basically a tool which provide you insights. It's a data analytics tool. So a Power Query, it's a bridge between Microsoft Excel as well as a Power BI. Okay, so let's start it. So basically, what is the primary use of Power Query? So the primary use of Power Query is transforming and analyzing the data. So when we talk about transforming and analyzing, so what is transforming? Transforming means converting a raw data. So basically, we collect data from various sources. We get data from email, from ERP, from websites. There are too many sources for data. So once we collect that data, we have to do some massaging to that data. That is removing some columns, adding some fields, uh, calculating due dates, calculating anything. So whatever we had to do with that data to make that data more useful, that is known as transforming. And what is analyzing data? Suppose you transform the data. On that basis, you prepare some graphs, you prepare some averages, you prepare some anything, any information, what you want to derive from that particular data post-transforming is known as analyzing. So the primary use of any tool uh, in Excel is basically for transforming and analyzing, and the Power Query is mostly used for these two concepts. So one question. So if chat is on, so there is one question for you from my end. So currently, which application you normally use for transforming and analyzing data, and which are the top use options tools in that application? So if anyone can answer who is in industry or who is doing it practice, so which of the tool we usually use to analyze the data? Correct. Excel pivots. Correct. Agreed. Any another tool? Okay. Tableau. Excellent. Tableau is another Power BI quick reports. Agreed. So, so basically we are using Excel, SQL. Okay. Mhm. So in Excel, which kind of tool we are using for analyzing data? Mainly as Dhananjay mentioned, it's a pivot. And any more? Okay, let it be. So in Excel, we usually use VLOOKUPs, pivots. Okay, ETL SQL is there. Goal seek, correct? Goal seek is there. So everywhere we are using multiple options to analyze those data. But if you know, we have to macro is there to work efficiently. So usually what happened earlier for preparing macro, you have to know some visual basics, or even you have to know how to record that macro and how to implement that macro. Apart from that, there is some limitations with pivots, some limitations with VLOOKUP, and there is a manual intervention altogether, which requires some time and efforts. So basically, the Power Query can use a single source for this different application in one go. That means with the help of Power Query, you can prepare a one sort of, you can say a macro, a Power Automate. You can have a data appendation. You can VLOOKUP. You can uh, analyze the data. So we will see in when we practically start that session. Next. So basically, the most important question, because I guess post this session, most of you will definitely going to use this Power Query option in your own desktop, laptop, and everywhere. And many of you will face some difficulties that I'm not able to find where that actually option is there. So if you are using any Excel version that is post 2010, you are definitely going to get Power Query option. But if your Excel version is prior to 2010, so you are not able to use this function. So make sure that which kind of version you are using. Next. So just, I guess, okay. So again, some technical things I have to mention. So if you are using 2010 and 2013, you have to download one add-ins. And once that add-ins has been downloaded, if anyone required, I can put that path of that add-ins into chat, so you can download from there, and ultimately you will have that Power Query option in your desktop or laptop. And any user who's using 2016, 19 or Office 365, there is a dedicated tab data, under which there is a dedicated section for Power Query. Okay. So if anybody found any difficulty to access that function, please let me know. We will help you. Then the basic steps one has to follow in Power Query. So there are four basic steps. One is connect. So what is mean by connect? Connect means collect data from different sources and put them all together into a single sheet, single model, whatever you can say. So whenever we say connect, that means what are the kinds of data sources we usually use. So I guess the data sources might be a ERP data, or data sources like client data, email data, or data from website, even a different formats like Excel, Word, PDF, web pages, and all. Okay, so you have to collect the data from there and do certain things. So once you collect the data, the next step would be the transform. So what is meant by transformation of data? So transformation is nothing but the massaging of that data. So suppose you have a data and you collect the data from ERP or any sources. After that, you have to add some columns, remove some columns, do some text to column and other stuff like that. So that is nothing but a transformation, that is conversion of raw data into a two meaningful data. The process is known as transformation. So combine. So what is meant by combine? So we have a data from different sources. So if you want to get a more deeper insights, we have to marry those key elements with each data points so that we can get a integrated data and we have a unique view of that data to get a better understanding. And last one, the load. The load is nothing but complete your query, and this will create a model into your worksheet or a Power BI, which can automatically refresh. So once you prepare that model, trust me, you have to uh, spend only 10% of time what you are already using. So suppose for a particular job, you have to work for 10 hours. So next time, definitely you are going to complete that activity within 1 hour. It depends upon how better you build that model and what kind of sources you are using. Okay. So basically in every, not only in Power Query, in every analytical tool, there will be four steps. That is connect data, that is collect, transform, merge, relation, and load. Okay. So what is what our today's agenda? So basically, as you may aware that Excel itself a biggest, we can say a tool, whatever I face in my whole journey, because we are using multiple options. There is always a upgradation. So for this, we can't complete whole Power Query, even a single tool or single option in 1 day or 1 week or even 1 month. So what we can do? So we can uh, touch bullet points, must know points or basics of Power Query. So what are they? So one, import data from files, folders, websites, everywhere. Apart from second, transform the data. Third, load the data, refresh the data, automate the data. So what we already say, a process of a Power Query. But before that, you must know what is meant by data types, what is meant by cross tab and flat file, what is data relationship, and what is pivot and unpivot data. So why I'm uh, before directly jumping into import the data, transforming the data, or loading the data, I would like to clear some of your concepts. So otherwise, what will happen if I will directly told you how to import data, how to transform data, and all. You will not get a conceptual clarity why we are doing that. Okay. So before moving to the core, we should uh, have better understanding of the concepts. Okay. So we will start with must know option first. So for you, I had one question again. So I hope this Excel file is visible to every one of you. So again, you have to use some chat option and just answer this question. This is the table you have, I guess. Okay. Uh, I will increase the size so you can have a better view. Okay. So what you identify is the difference between database A, this is database A, and this is database B. So according to you, what is the basic difference between these two databases? So I will check for chat. So horizontal and vertical. Okay. Okay. Apart from that, any specific you identify? A is in table form. Okay. Filters. Okay. 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 Filters. Okay. I will remove this filters one. So again, uh, so uh, any more answers? So filters is B and representative data. Okay. You can use pivot on B. Okay, correct. So Govind, okay, so I will tell you. So basically, uh, we can pivot on both databases. It's not an issue. But suppose if I ask you, tell me what is the total, what is the sum of total marks for Amol? Okay, let's try to build a pivot table on this data. I select this data. I go to, um, sorry, insert pivot table. I will use as existing sheet. Okay, sorry. I will click here and click on OK. So if I select name, okay, it is name is there. But if I try to click on subjects like Marathi, it automatically goes to values field as these are the numeric fields. Then I click on Hindi. Again, that this will go to numeric field. But here there is no option by which I can tell you that Amol score total how many? 310. So why this happen? Because and every time as I guess you may aware that I work on Excel for more than 15 years now. So every time people after doing some efforts come to me and told me that ये pivot नहीं लग रहा है, pivot नहीं लग रहा है, lookup नहीं लग रहा है, these are the you can say usual comments from the people, but they are not looking at the data, a structure of data. So now we are going to with this data set, okay, first, and then I will explain why it is required to understand and how this work. So again, I will click on existing, and now we will click on name and marks. So simply Amol will get 310. Okay. So why this happened? This happened because one data is into a flat file format and another data is a cross tab format. So what is the difference between two and why it is required? So what is mean by cross tab data? If single line is not complete without headers, or it has multiple data headers, it is known as cross tab data. That is this data. Like suppose I just click on Sandeep 77, 91, 63, 15, 68. But this by this we are not come to know what is meant by 77, 91, 63. But if I click on Sandeep Marathi 77, I can understand that 77 means the score in Marathi. Okay. So whenever you fail to have a pivot, even when you are going to, if you have a liking in this field, you are going to build some models in Power BI, Tableau, or anything, or doing data science or data analytics and all. If you are come to know of this concept, you will definitely, this will definitely going to help you a lot. So whenever data is in flat file format, it always give you a more options to explore as well as more feasibility with respect to data analysis. Okay. So how can we convert cross tab data into flat file data? I will show you later. But always remember that whenever data into this format, you will going to get some difficulty while building a model. So before starting to build any model in Power Query or Power BI, try to convert that format into flat file format. So we'll show how we will do this. Okay. The next concept we are talking about is the data types. So again, I will show you. So I had, okay, this is getting, okay. So I have this data with me. Okay. So if you see this data, we have multiple columns is in this table. If I click on column A, you will see I'm getting average, I'm getting count, I'm getting numerical count, I am getting minimum, maximum, and sum, all these functions. Because this, okay, so I'm getting these functions. But when I'm selecting these columns, I'm getting only count. When I'm selecting these columns, again, I'm getting numerical sum 10, so sum is 100. But when I'm selecting these cells, again, now the sum is 70. When I'm selecting these cells, 100%. So here is a percentage sign. When I'm selecting these cells, here is a date. Where I'm selecting this data, there are decimals. So whenever you are building any model, anything in Excel, it's not about only Power Query and all. It's a basic of Excel. Whenever you are using any analysis tool or any tool, you have to know about these data types. I will show you the data types. So the widely used data types are whole number. So these are the whole numbers, 10, 1 to 10. Decimal, where we are using decimals. Text, where is text is there. So I guess can anybody tell me what is the difference between D5 and D6? Difference between D5 and D6? Why 110 is here and why 110 is here? Can anybody tell me? Okay, it is in text format, correct? Okay, D6 is in text. Yes, correct. So whenever you are D6 is in text. So always remember, if there is a green icon, okay, for any numerical data, numerical looking data, so there is a strong possibility that that data is getting converted into text. So you have to either, if you require that data to be numeric, just press F2 and enter, or try to have some cleaning techniques so that automatically convert into number. So that's why, because if you, let's check the sum below, 10, 10, 20. So sum is 20, but I drop down, but sum is still 20 because it is a text now. And that's why that will not get added. Okay. So whenever we are going to build a query into Power, sorry, we are going to prepare some model into Power Query, just make sure that you have selected appropriate data formats. And trust me, if you are not understand the data types and their importance, you are not going to use properly this tool. Okay, so always remember, you have to check which kind of data type it should be. Okay, and basically widely used data types are whole number, decimal, text, date, percentage, time, date and time, true or false, binary, and all these. The last theoretical point which you should know is the relationship. Okay, so again we have some questions for you. I guess there are too many questions, but still I guess that will help you to understand the concept better. Okay, so we have some data in front of you. So if you see, I will just enlarge this data. Okay, so basically we have 5 data sets in front of you, and every data set has some column headers. So if I ask, who is the branch manager for Amor and Samir? Okay, who is the branch manager? So you can see this data. Okay, and just put your answer in chat. Who is the branch manager for Amor and Samir? Okay, so can I check answer? So Sachin Hule says Mr. Mittal. Okay, any more? Okay, Mittal. Mhm. Okay, so okay, correct. So basically, so correct answer. So thanks. So basically, what kind of approach you have taken? So that's the most important. So what you see, you first see where is Amol, branch manager, or sorry, where is Amol and Samir? So you found Amol and Samir here. Then you want what you want. Then you go to branch manager. Okay, where is the branch manager field? Branch manager field is here. Okay, so what you have to identify, Amol Samir's, who is the branch manager for Amol and Samir. So what is the common thread between this data, two tables, that is branch. If you see in both these data tables, there is one common header or a common field named as branch. So what we identify, whenever you have to merge or you have to collect data from different sources, you have to build a relationship between them by identifying a unique column between both databases or multiple databases. Understood? Because this is the most critical concept which you should learn and you have to learn before building a model. Otherwise, that will be only a manual exercise and you will not save your time or efforts. Okay. So again, I'm explaining this field. Whenever you have to build a relationship, that means whenever you have to collect a data based on different data sets, like we are answering this question based on two data sets, we have to identify a unique column in both data set which signifies or which help us to identify our answer. Okay, so this is nothing but we are building a relationship between these two tables based on the branch column. Okay, the next question, how much incentive, okay, Mr. Kadam salesperson earn? How much incentive Mr. Kadam's salespersons earn? Okay, can I go to answer? Okay, not it. When we are going after this, we are going directly moving to practical. So at that time, you can make some relevance why we are looking at these tables and why we are trying to identify how to identify a particular flexi field or any unique field. So we will see. The answer is the Kadam is missing. Again, Kadam is there, na? Yeah, Kadam is there, but answer is correct. There is someone, Sachin is, yeah, 12,000. Yeah, okay. It is there. Okay, thanks. It's correct answer. Again, what we are doing here. So how many table we are using? First, we identify where is Mr. Kadam. So Kadam is at section D. So we identify one table D. Then where is incentive? Incentive is in table C. Okay. And again, where is the salesperson and Mr. Kadam? So it is mentioned in A. So just imagine, for identifying a answer of a simple question, we have to go through multiple data sets or data tables. Now, if I ask you a same exercise having 1 lakhs or 2 lakhs or even thousands of rows, what you might do? First, you prepare some lookup. I guess for this, the lookup is the only function option available to you to identify. So what you may do, you first identify, make a lookup against who is Kadam is where in Konkan. In Konkan, who is the salesperson, Viraj and Mangesh. So you look up again here and then again identify or make a pivot or subtotal for Viraj and Mangesh. So finally, and again there is some difficulty. Yeah? If you are using lookup, again there is an issue of going to left, going to right. So you might have to use X lookup or you have to use what you say. Hmm, we say for that index match. Okay. So, but again, those are some complex formulas and you might take some time or even some expertise to handle those formulas. So basically, from this, I just want to convey you whenever you have multiple data source with you and multiple data columns with you or tables with you, and when you want to merge them into a single source to identify an answer or uh, identify any solution, so you have to build a relationship between these tables with the help of unique columns. Like in these columns, between column A and D, the unique thing is branch. And between column A and C, unique thing is salesperson names. Okay. So here the relationship will be based on salesperson and name, and the relationship between A and D will be based upon the branch ID. Okay. So let's move to the actual problems. I guess I have to ask you again first before moving to the actual, what you can say, data, how to import, transform, and load. But before that, anyone has any doubt with respect to these unpivot, I will show you again later. But with respect to data types, what kind of data types or why it is required, or what is difference between cross file and flat file, or why data relationship requires, that will be, I will show eventually. But if anybody have any doubts on this, you can just put into chat and we will definitely go through the same at the end of session or even in the when we have a break of 10-15 minutes. Okay. So let's move to a file for actual working. So let's go to import data. So I have one data with you. So basically, usually people know people generate data from ERPs, or even say they can download data from some websites, and multiple times if a data is into Excel or text, usually it get formatted in this fashion. Okay, so I have randomly collect one data so that by which we can do some data import and all those stuffs. Okay, so for starting this, first we, before any anytime before starting to building any model or jumping into preparing some query or anything, you have to analyze this data to identify which tool you should deploy. So suppose you are not aware of Power Query and all. So if I have to convert this raw data into some meaningful data for analysis purpose, so I have to do some transformation, some cleaning. Like suppose this data is there, so I guess first we will go for which option? A text to column option. Okay, and for text to column, if you see this data, you will definitely come to know the delimiter for this data is underscore. So uh, if I have to freeze this first. Okay, so let's do, so what I will do, I will move, prepare some duplicate version of this. So let's do some exercise and let's check the time we required for this operation. So there is no, I guess. So currently it's 16:47. Let's see how much time we required for these operations. Okay. So let's see. First we do some text to column. So we will go for data option, text to column option. Then we will choose a delimited or fixed width depend upon the data. So each data have a unique references. So we will go for delimited. Go then next. In other, we will use underscore and click on finish. So ultimately, if you see, okay, so we do some, what you can say, transformation. So again, if you see the dates are not in correct fashion, so we will convert. I will use the shortcut key. Okay, so we will convert these dates. So these are the meaningful dates. If you see the balances are looking like some text, amount, values, so we will convert them into values. Okay. Again, these are the bank data and your FD rates. FD rates has to be in percentage. So we will go and click on percentage sign. We might require it in two decimals if it is there. So So we will put a single decimal. Again, a signatory looks in some lowercase or something. So let's convert into uppercase. You you might use different option, but I will prefer upper function. So I will copy this and replace on this data. Then again, yeah, I need only employee ID with me. So what I will do, I will do again that data text to column function. Again, go to delimited. Now there is a dash. So I will put dash there and use finish. So I will require a employee ID. So I will copy this employee ID, put here. Okay. Now I just want to know what is my balance for the period. So what I will do, I will prepare some pivot table. I will go to that particular pivot table. I will click on date and balance. So monthly my balance is suppose 8 lakhs for March and June is it's 8 lakhs and 10 lakhs. So basically in the whole scenario, what we did some massaging of the data. And finally, eventually we come to know the total balance by month or by location, whatever we required. Suppose I required the data via location. I will put a location. So it's a basic pivot, nothing else. Okay. So I did this work. So I spent, I guess, 2-3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes I required for this operation. Now let's assume tomorrow you again go to your laptop, desktop, and you will get a different data. Suppose you will get this data again in this format. Now what will you do? You will again copy because here is no macro you have prepared or something like that. So you again have to run the same, like paste here, again data text to column, convert, or else you have to prepare a macro like that. Again, that macro may work, may not work because there is some formatting, there is some loop involved. So there is too many ifs and buts. So how can we save the time? How can we make it, what you can say, make it automated or make it error free or you can say a time saver or efficient. So we have an option. So I will delete this. I will keep this for time being. And now we go to our ERP dump, this format. So for so we will go to our most anticipated tool for which we are here, that is Power Query. So where is Power Query? So I'm using 2019. So that's why I had a Power Query inbuilt under data option and named as get and transform data. So there is no specific word as Power Query. There is option as get and transform data. It's nothing but a Power Query because once you click on that option, you will automatically redivert it to Power Query. So our first function, what is that? Import data using files, folders, and much more. Okay, so we will demonstrate the most use cases like import data from current file, import data from external file, import data from external folder, and import data from website. So I guess these four are will comprise most of your data collection modes. So let's see. So when I want to convert this data, what I will do, I will go to uh, data option and click on from table and range because I am using same file. Okay. Make this clear. Whenever you are importing, you are want to transforming data from the same Excel sheet, you have to use a from table and range. So once you click here, it will ask you to create a table function. And then once you click on OK, it's there. So you are going to have your own Power Query editor open for you. So this is a Power Query editor. And I guess the excitement should get built because this is for many of you, this might be a new thing. And trust me, after 2, 3, 4 years, in current scenario, people usually ask, do you know how to prepare a lookup or pivots and all? After 2-3 years, everyone has to know Power Query to sustain into the business. Okay. So, okay. So what we did, we click on that table of, again, I will show you. So actually, I mean, I have to close to show you, but no, not required. So I just select that data and click on from table and just click on to go. Now, first I will introduce with the screen. So basically, this is the first button is a load and close. So once your model built or your transformation completed, you just can close and load, and you will again redirect to Excel. Okay. So there is home button, home in ribbon, transform, add column, and view. Okay. For as this is a beginner session, I think a transform and add column will be more beneficial for you apart, along with home option. So I will make you go through with most used functions like uh, choose column, remove rows, split columns, ascending, descending, merge query, append query, replace value. Apart from that, in transformation field, replace, split. So if you read these menus or in these functions, you will definitely feel like ये तो मेरे लिए कुछ नया नहीं है. ये तो मैंने कहीं देखा है. Because all these functions are from Excel only. Like we do text to column, here is split column. We do what we do VLOOKUP, here it is known as merge queries. We do what we can say formatting uppercase, here is by default function. We required some difficult formulas can be directly converted into macros, or you can say Power Query. We will go through that. Okay. So these are our functions, basic use functions. This is our query table. So currently we are importing only one table. So that's why it's shown as table 1. This is our dashboard, or it's not a dashboard, it's our working area. In the right hand side, this is the most important function. It's a query setting. And here are the applied steps. If you recall or remember your macros, those who are very new to macros, most of the people use record macros. So macro recording is the very easiest way to prepare macros and run all of them. So at that time, if you click on edit option, you will definitely saw some steps. And those steps, like I will show you some steps first. Discard and close. I will show you some. Okay, it's open. So suppose I am recording some macro. Okay. I am typing something. I am deleting something. Okay. And doing some formatting, again some bold. And now stop. Now, if I go to that macro recording, view macros and editing option, you will going to get this kind of steps like range H5 select, active cell formula, this destination range F2, selection font rate true. So for a person which is a finance person, basically a finance person or a non-technical person having no coding language experience or no any other language experience like C programming and all, this after a particular span, this is going to get difficult to understand what kind of steps are there and to edit them, because these are some most complex writing structure and all. So but so but when you are going to use, again I have to select this because I have to go to data from table range, and we are again in Power Query. Okay. So, but if we see in Power Query option, you will going to see that there is an option like applied steps, and these are very easy to understand. Let's see how. So we have this data. So what we did earlier, we do first a text to column. So there is option transform and add column. So we will go to transform. There is one option, split column. So split column is nothing but text to format. So we'll click, then using delimiter, using characters, using position from lowercase to uppercase, digit to non-digit, and too many options are there. So I'm using by delimiter. I'm clicking here, same option, using underscore and clicking OK. So automatically this get converted into columns. Okay. Now, second option, what we saw earlier, that again I'm going to move to that our option data types. Okay, this is the most critical thing to analyze the data. So if you see, these are the bank account numbers. So bank account numbers usually are into numerical fields. So it is comes as 123. If you click here, you will get to know that 123 is a whole number and bank account number is in whole number format. So it's not an issue. Now, this is the date, but date comes under which format? 123. That is again, it's coming under numerical format. Just click on that. And there is one option called as date and time, date or time. So I'm requiring only date. So I'm just clicking on date. It automatically replace it. Sorry. Okay. So there I'm incurred. I got some error. So if I want to go backward, I just have to click on the delete option. So I have to delete my previous step. So I click on delete. So again, I come here. I click here. Let's see what kind of error is there. So it's not able to convert this data. Let's see. Okay. So let's see what happened with that data. So for the timing, we will keep it as a numeric field. Next, this comes under text. We just click on this and we'll convert into whole number. So that will comes into whole number. So we can submit. So these are the branch locations. So we can keep it as it is. Now, these are the FD rates. So we can click and make it into percentage. So it comes under percentage. Again, let's see, we have these in smaller cases. And as we discussed earlier, we have to convert them into what we say into upper cases. So for that, you don't require any formula or anything. You just have to go to format and make it uppercase. It automatically get uppercase. And if you don't want uppercase, just delete this step. It again get back to original. If I click on again change type, it will, so whatever steps I deleted, that will automatically get undo. So again, I have required this first step to be there. So I will put percentage. So I will take it as a, what you can say, this data. I need to get it uppercase. So I will convert this into uppercase. Suppose I want some prefix. So I guess, okay. So if I want some prefix like Mr. or something, so what I will do in format, add prefix and put as Mr. Okay. So everyone automatically get as Mr. Atul. Now compare if I ask you to make this as Mr. Atul, Mr. Mangesh, Mr. Amol, so what you have to do? You might do some is equal to into bracket Mr. dot and or concatenate Atul. So you have to work upon on many things. You have to prepare many columns and all. So that will automatically get reduced. Okay. Now these are the locations. Okay. Again, I have to just text to column again this. So delimiter. I will click on here and OK. So A is different and numbers are different. If I don't require this column, I can just simply go and say in home column, remove columns. You can see I remove that column. Even suppose I not require this column also, I will remove that column. Remove, sorry, remove columns. And you can see what kind of stuff we already earlier do. The same we are doing here. Again, if I don't want to see a zero balance bank accounts, I just can click on filter, please select zero and select on OK. Now, if I close and load this query, let's see what happens. This will create another sheet. Okay. So you can see our existing data is still there. Okay. But we are getting another sheet. I'm just squeezing this out. So you can see this data is automatically come into this fashion. I'm not sure why this come like this. So it's moving again. Okay. Now, if you come here and suppose tomorrow, so that's done. Okay. Now, suppose tomorrow you get another data. Let's see, a data might be 27. So 27 is there. It is 54. Let's make it Pune के बदले Nashik. Okay. And we append some data or we have a new data. What you have to do? You have to just go here and click on refresh. Once you click refresh, you can see. Okay, the balance is zero. I have to put some balance now because I have mentioned that I should not show the zero values. So I will put it as a 10. Now let's see. Just click on refresh. And now you can see I have to stop this auto. Now you can see automatically we will get a 10, Nashik, V9, Nashik 27. So whenever you have data that automatically, now suppose the data, we will change this data again. At here, we can put a 5. And now we will refresh this data again. So automatically it comes here and you can see a 5 here. So next time, once you have built this particular model, so it is there. In earlier version, when we do some massaging, what happened? Our earlier data format has totally gone. So we don't have earlier data. But when we using Power Query, we have earlier data with also. And apart from that, we will get our required data in desired format. Okay. And this get automatically refreshed. So here, if you click on table, or even when you are moving on that table, you will automatically get other information that this is the table, these are the columns, this is the last refresh rate, this is the loaded to worksheet. Okay. And whenever you want to you can click on edit. Now what we will do, we will do another massaging. Suppose we can rename here, it's account number. Okay. It's date, it's balance, it's location, it's FD rates, it's manager, it's branch office, and this is employee ID. Okay, I have make these changes. Again, I have to click load and close and load. Now you can see the header also gets changed. So next time, whenever you do anything, suppose I remove these rows. Let's remove this row. Minus. So according to this, you have to, and I will make this as 0. Now I will refresh this. And ultimately, you will get only 2 lines because out of 3 lines, we have 1 0. So whatever, now let's go to edit again. We have steps here. Okay. Here we filtered rows with 0. If I delete in steps in between, suppose I delete this row where I filter non-zero columns. Click here and now delete, and we will click on load and so you will get all 3 rows. So it's very easy to edit what kind of model we built. Okay. So again, I will go to that edit option because our more focus area is on Power Query. So if you see, again, there are multiple options. Again, suppose there is Pune. It is mentioned as Pune, but usually we called as Pune. Okay. Or what I will do, I will again recalculate all this stuff. So, okay. There are these 3 columns. And what I will do, now I required only, suppose I don't require this column. I am removing this column. So, okay. First, let's go again with the all option available in transform function. Okay. We check the option remove columns. So the remove columns, remove that column. So again, there is no need to go to Excel file and remove those columns manually. So once you click on that, this column is not required for you. You just can click on remove column. It's automatically get removed. Now, if you want to remove rows having errors, having blank rows, having duplicates, you can automatically click on those columns and that will automatically get deleted. If you want to sort this data, I just convert this into number, data, and now I click on sort descending or sort ascending, suppose. So it will automatically get ascended. And if I close, that data will automatically get ascended. Now, next option will be the replace value. Suppose there is some error that every time it comes under branch office as Pune, but it should be Pune. So what you can do, you just click here, use replace value, replace Pune every time with Pune and click OK. So every time whenever there is written as Pune, it automatically get converted into Pune. So you don't need to go to dataset again and again and do that jugglery. There is the two biggest options are like merge query and append query is there, but that will be taken in next session. Then again, there is some transformation option, like extract the data or something like that. That will show, that we will check in next example. Okay. So I'm just going to close and load option. And you can see whatever changes we deleted, again, the data is restored to the older version. Okay. So this is the first option. That is, we are just getting data consumed from the same file. Now, let's try another option. I'm opening a new file and now I'm trying to import data from a different file. Like, no, before that, we have to do some exercise on old file. Remember our old file is there. This is our old file, which which is a cross tab file. Okay. And where we are not able to prepare a pivot and all. So how we can convert this data into flat file data. So before learning Power Query, trust me, I'm spending hours for this because here we have only 4 to 5 columns. But earlier we have to do this exercise. I will show you. If anybody have another method or something, please let me know in chat. Okay. So what I usually do, I put like this. I put subject as a header. Then I usually copy this data, and then I do like this. Then I put Hindi. So I eventually I spend, I guess, hours if the data is that big. So I just want to say you that there is one function available in Power Query, which is known as unpivot data. What that unpivot data do, I will show you. So usually I do this kind of jugglery to convert the data into that flat file data. But with the use of Power Query, what we can do? Again, there is same functionality available. That is, as the data is from same file, I have to go to data and from table and range. I click on table and range. I click on OK. Okay, now that is comes as table 3 because we already have a table 1. Okay. When I click on table 1, I will all get steps for table 1. When I click on table 3, I will get all options for table 3. Okay. Now, here what I have to do, I have to just select all columns and click on transform and unpivot columns. Done. And just click on file, close and load. And ultimately, you will get this data on which you can build a power pivot, you can prepare a pivot and everything. So assume you have now everyone is from finance domain here. So basically you have a customer table, you have a masters, you have a GST data, you have various data, but that can converted into a seconds, and not only into seconds, you don't have to prepare this again, because if tomorrow there is one another person Govind is there, and if he score 80, 90, 90 again, suppose 70 and 75, you just have to click here and say refresh, and ultimately Govind get appended. You don't have to work upon that. You don't have to spend a single second or even single minute on that. And even if you want to have a data in different ways, like suppose again, we will go to that edit option. So edit is very easy. Just you have to click on edit. And now I need everything has to be into what you can say in capital. So where is our option? Transform, then format, and let's go to the capital. Capital is there. Suppose now I want everything to be, so there are multiple options. You can do anything. Okay, suppose you want a square of every values, you just have to click on square. So you will get, now there is one option. I forgot to tell you that there are two columns. One is transform and another is add column. If I click on add column ribbon, and if I suppose I will remove this. Okay, first I will click on transform. In transform, there is also same functions available. Okay, like I click on power square. But when I click on transform and then I click on the function, that existing data get replaced. Okay, now I delete this and go to add column. And again, I click on that scientific power and square. But when I click on add column, the existing column remains there and the another column will get created. Okay, so in these two columns, you will found many similar functions which are useful for you, but there is a slight difference that one add column functions create a new column, while transform converts existing data. Okay, so so that's it. So, but this is a very useful function. If you can recollect, you can just memorize what kind of data you have, what kind of on which kind of data you usually work, and then you can come to know that boss ये option तो मैं use कर सकता हूँ, that will definitely save your time and efforts, basically the efforts. Okay, now let's again, I will go and close and load. Okay, so there are two options, close and load, discard and close. So as everyone know, discard means don't save anything and just close and go to Excel. But I require this data, so I click on close and load. So whatever steps are there, it automatically, so we add, make this capital, we require the square of this. So everything get automatically created. So whenever whenever you go, you are on that particular tab created using Power Query, you will always get these types of connections. Like we currently have two connections, connection 1, connection 2. So you can easily switch in between them. So first one is we prepare this unpivot. We do this ERP dumping. Now, before going to another thing, I would like to show you some data. So we are collected data from existing file. Now we will go and collect data from website. Okay. So that will be helpful for you also. So for that, I just thought which kind of data I should bring into my Excel. Suppose, so currently we are into CEP. Na? So suppose I want to know which kind of CEP is currently running. So what I will do, usually I have, basically, I guess I have copied that link. So just go to that browser first, then into that browser, let's I will put that link. Okay. So here I will get that particular link is there. Na? So which kind of program date is there, program topic, I guess we should be there. Yeah, we are there. Okay. Power query. So suppose you don't want to access that particular website because there might be a multiple links involved. Or even if what happened if every day there will be new program and you don't want to go to that site again and again. Besides, you want to have that information in your Excel on daily basis. Only you have to open that Excel and you will get a prompt notification that this kind of CPs are there. So let's see how can we do. Again, I'm preparing a new Excel. I'm not saving in Excel. So again, I will go to data. And now, beside going to any other data source, I will go to web. Okay, from web. I will go to web. I will just put a URL that I have copied and click on OK. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So once you click on that, you will get a display option as this: a document, a table 0, and a table 1. So if you go to table 1 or table 0, you will come to know that यहाँ पे अपना data है. But once you got that data, you can just simply click on load or transform. So there are two things. One is load, one is transform. So what are the difference between load and transform? So the load means you can directly load this data into your model. You don't want to do any transformation like do it in capital, do it into month, do anything. But if you want to do some transformation first and then want to load that data, you have to click on transform data. And if I have to recommend, I will definitely ask you to transform data first before moving to uh, actual load of data. So what I will do, I will click on transform data. And bingo, yeah. So the data is there. Okay. So there are no too many data points, but what I can do from this, yeah. So what I will do, I will first, this is text. I will definitely convert into the date and time. Okay. No, I don't require date and time. I require only date. So there are two things. Either I want to replace current step or I want to create a new step. But I will definitely prefer to replace step. Okay, because at earlier time I use that particular option like time. I'm not requiring any time also. So again, this is looks like a text. I will click and convert into date. So it is important to convert these data points into a particular data type because as I show you earlier, if it is a text and if you want to count, you are not able to count that data. You are not able to sum that data because that the data format is into text. Okay, so you have to very keen and you have to spend some time on how we can. You have to check which kind of data type is that there. Okay, so I just click on there. So if you see, once we click here and convert the data, we come to know the error. And if we click on that error, there is no written as data format error. We could not trace the input provided as a date value because from 12, a computer cannot identify what is meant by 12. So there are two options for you. Either you have to work and identify why that 12 is coming. Is there is a data error or there is any another error, or you have to correct it manually. Or you can simply click on that any column and just go to transform, sorry, to home, and click on remove rows, remove error wala rows. So whenever the error is there, those rows will get removed. हमें चाहिए कि वो error वाला data, when we have to go there and again remove that data and do all those stuffs. Okay. Now, if I want to know, again, if we have a time, so what we'll do, I want to know, suppose in date option, uh, we are at transform. So that will automatically show a year only. Okay. But for the time being, I don't want year. I want a new column where I want to know. So everything is in month of, what you can say, a November only. So what I will do, I want a new column where it will show a week of year. Okay. So these are in the 46th week of the year. These are in 47th week of the year, as well as I want to know what I can, what else I can know from this. Huh, a day, a 12th day, and let's add another field like, sorry, name of the day. So the our sessions are, so what I will do, I don't require this column. So I will go here, I will click on home and remove columns. I require a date, I require a day, I require program venue, program organizer name. I don't require now these dates. A date might be required. So I will only remove these columns. I don't require serial number also, so remove the columns. And now if I close and load, you will get another Excel sheet. It's taking some time. Right? Oh, sorry, that is here. We prepare another Excel. No? So if you can see, it's there. So whenever anybody from chapter or anybody from our CMA update that particular data set and add any new program, it will automatically get added here. Or any program, suppose today is 12, so I guess tomorrow there will be only 13, and this will get removed if usually we do the same thing. So if I am person from chapter or a learning and development team, I beside going to every time to the Excel, I will prepare some sheet, upcoming sessions, and this is my Excel sheet. So whenever I'm open, whenever I'm come to office or wherever I have leisure time, I will just come here and click on refresh. Done. So you don't have to take any extra efforts to go to the website, search for the particular link and all those stuff. Okay. Let's do another try. I have one more website for you. Like, yeah, no, not that. Placements. Suppose I am a student. Again, I'm both the time I'm using our website only, institute website only. So again, I just want to know what kind of placements are there. What kind of jobs are posted by organizations for final qualified people. So if I am there when I am student, I just pass out. I have to go to home, but there is too many and too many steps there are. I have to go to placement or students, then I have to go to another area. There are too many steps involved. So beside, once I have that particular link, what I will do, again, I guess this time you can also prompt to me that we have to go to web. We just have to go to URL, just put that URL, click on OK. Again, we got a data, a document, there is no data, a table, there are two organizations. I will directly load this time because I don't want any transformation to be there. Just click there and your data is here. So if I am a CMA student, I'm working in an organization, what I will do? I will just go to my Excel, a daily Excel file. I will import that data and on a daily basis or weekly basis, I will go and just refresh to see, boss आज ये job आ गया, अरे वाह, ये अच्छी opportunity लग रही है, बस सैलरी थोड़ी कम है. So whatever you can say, but you can do these things. Okay. So this is one option where you can save your time. So it's not only for this. I guess most of you are using mutual funds. You are investing in mutual fund. You are doing share markets. You are doing Wikipedia search and all. Just copy that web page link, put into that web address, and just go and just experiment something. So might be the cases that you want to see a Godrej share price every time. So just click on refresh. You will get Godrej or Titan share price in front of you. Okay, it's up to you how you can. Even some people used to query a cricket score like India, Pakistan, or anything. So we can have that tomorrow. So while we have a session, we can see a final score also. So let's move further. So what we see, we can import data from Excel file, same Excel file. We are importing data from what you can say, website. Now we try to import data from another source that you can say another Excel sheet, because that thing we usually do. So how we import the data? So I'm closing this file. I'm not requiring this file. So let's create a new file. It's not necessary to have a new file every time. I'm just creating a new file for my business. Okay. Now again, I'm going to data. Now there is options. Let's see which kind of option we have. A table range from same file, a web from website. No, we are not requiring now. Now we will click on get data from file, Excel file. Click on Excel file. I'm importing data from suppose this file. Import. When I click on import option, if there are many, what you can say, Excel sheets are there, so that automatically comes here. Like master is there. I want dump July, dump August, dump this, or these kind of sheets are there. So suppose I want the data from dump August. I'm just clicking here, and every time I prefer to go to transform data. So this is your preview, nothing else. Transform data. So again, I'm going to transform data option. Okay. Again, you have to familiar with this screen because this is your batting pitch. You have to always go to this screen. You have to always navigate between transform, add column, home, apply step, delete, and close and load. So you have to be there, always there. Now, let's see what kind of fields are there. So it's a serial number. Let's see. If it is a serial number, it has to be a number format. So what I will do, I will convert it into whole number and say replace current. So this will convert into whole number. This is the registration number. This is the invoice date. So invoice date, it comes automatically into text data format. Payment terms, these are into text. So ABC is correct. Customer ID 123 is okay. This is also okay. Invoice number can be into numeric or alphanumeric. So there are both options available, ABC and 123. Invoice amount has to be into 123. Amount has to be into numbers only. So first of all, why it comes as 123 ABC? If you scroll below, you might come to know that this is the culprit. One data is at the left side of the column. That means that has come as a text. So what we can do, we can manually edit at the data source also, but that will become a manual activity. Then what we will do, we just click this column and click on convert this into whole number. Alas, if you see, it automatically converted into correct structure. Now it seems everything is okay. Again, yeah. Suppose I want to know, yeah, I want to know a quarter of the year. So you can see we can move these columns also. So ultimately, with a single click, I come to know that invoice date 19th September, it's a third quarter. Okay, September is a third quarter. So it's not a financial quarter, it's a calendar quarter, basically. Okay. So Apart from that, you have another options. You can deal with that. Let's see. I want again a text to column. I just want to segregate a registration number. So I will go to split column delimiter. Now check. I am at transform option. Okay. So when I'm clicking on transform option, let's see what happens. Click on OK. Sales invoice and registration number. But earlier column will get removed. Now, again, why I'm saying I am emphasizing on this particular element again and again, because these are the core steps you have to follow on day in day out basis. And if you come to know the impact of these steps, that will help you to have a minimum errors while building a model. Again, I'm just clicking here, and beside using transform, I'm using add column, and okay, sorry, add column. I will choose a text before delimiter. I will click here, delimiter as dash, and OK. So my existing is there, but apart from that, I am getting. So I'm clicking on text before delimiter. So that's why left side data has getting generated. Now I click on extract text after delimiter. I will click on this and OK. So the data is there. The original column is there, but now I am getting text before and text after. Okay. Now we will click, we'll go to home and close and load. So you can see that in earlier example, we are doing some massaging on a data which is already there in that particular Excel. Then we move to website and generate some table data. Then we go to another file, that is another Excel file, and import the data. But what happened? Usually, the biggest challenge or biggest time consuming, one of the time consuming activity which we face is merging the data. Okay. For example, uh, this be online. I have to ask one question to you first, whether it is going too fast or we have to wait for some time, or we have to go to slowly. Anybody? Is it okay or I have to go slow? It's okay. 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 Thanks. Okay. So before moving to okay, so we will check one more option, and then we will have some break for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will proceed further. So the last option, which might be most useful for you, is a data from folder, for example. And this is the most sorted demand, basically. If you see, I will show you one data. Suppose I have I have two files, file B and file C with me. File B has same column. Suppose file B has serial number, name, sales. For the month of, suppose I will what I will do, March sales. Sorry, and April sales. Okay, so I have two sheets. One is April sales, one is March sales. Okay, so both, if you see, both files have similar columns. So for the timing, I am keeping only three columns: serial number, name, and sales. And in April, there is also serial number, name, and sales. So usually what happened, our manager, our management people, or our client usually asks to have a consolidated data. So usually what usually we do, we copy this data, create a new sheet, then close this file, then go to another sheet, Marseille, then copy this data, then come here, then we delete this header. And suppose there are 5 years data, 2 years data, 10 division data, multiple company data. There are many possibilities to have a data which has been stored in folder for a different period, different attributes. So how can we save the time by having a single file in a seconds or so? Earlier, we have to prepare some macros for that. Again, we have to know some advanced knowledge of that queries and all and all. But for that, we have some inbuilt option in Power Query. What we can do? Let's see. I'm again, I guess, we close this file. We prepare another file. Data, get data from database, sorry, from file, from folder. Now what I will do? I will just go to that folder. Where is that folder? Chapter demo. D drive, new role, chapter demo. This PC, D drive, new role, and the folder name is chapter demo. Okay. And click on OK. Once you click on that folder, that will say you that that folder have a binary content. There are two files, April sales, March sales. The extensions are same, and you can combine, load, or transform. So we have to combine because we want those files to be in a single file. So we will click on combine. Combine and load. So let's see what happens. There is in one file, there is one record, and in another file, okay, let's see. So sheet 1 is there, and we will click on OK. Now you can see ultimately you will get a data, combined data in a single click for April sales. Three lines are there. So source name is there, serial number is there, name is there, sales is there. For March is automatically here. Now let's make another file. Assume tomorrow you get another file for the June month. What I will do, I'll prepare a file. This file is there, and I will make it at serial number. Let it be. Name will be A, and sales will be suppose 100. I just saving this file to the same folder. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just making this file save at the same folder and let it name as March, April, May sales. I'm just saving this file, closing this file, and just where is our sheet? This is our file. Na? I'm just coming here and clicking on refresh. Sorry, the data is there. So assume once you build this particular model, you don't have to go to that folder, copy that data, pasting that data, checking the column headers, anything, nothing to worry. But one thing you should keep in your mind that header should be same. And where there are majority of the cases when we store a data into particular folder, the data most of the time showing the same attribute. Like there will be a trial balance, there will be a customer payment details, there might be a anything, a GST returns, or the structure of the format, the columns are most of the cases are the similar in the nature. But ultimately that this will save your time and anytime. So what we can do, if you are working in a corporate or you are working in a client location, you just ask a person to dump file in this particular folder. This folder can be at a SharePoint, at a OneDrive, at any place. So assume what you can do, you just ask that person to dump the file. You don't have to open that file, you don't have to copy that file, you don't have to paste that file. Once that person uh, what we can do, I will again copy this April and make it April sales copy. Okay, just you have to come here and click on refresh. A previous copy is there and the data is also there. So ultimately you can save hours or minutes as the case may be, and ultimately you can more focus on quality work or analysis work. Okay, so basically this option is known as merge query and append query. This comes under this option. So this is nothing but appending the data below another data, so you can have a consolidated view, and on this basis you can prepare your pivot, macros, lookup. You can do anything. You can build the same into Power Query also, but if required, you can prepare the same on uh, using our old modes like lookup and all. Okay, so basically we are covered the first option and second option. That is, I guess we are covered all the options. We covered data types, we covered cross-tab flat files, we covered data relationships, we covered unpivot data, we covered import data files and folders, we covered transformation of data, undo, that is delete data steps, add columns, we uh, load, refresh, and automate. So I guess we covered the basic. So this is nothing but the basic only. Yeah? So that might be there is too many things you can do using Power Query, like creating some automated dashboards using Power BI with the help of Power Query and all, using some data analytics, doing some data mining and all those stuffs you can do using this particular Power Query or uh, these functionalities. So that is there. If time permits, uh, we can go through the same on tomorrow also. It depends, I guess. Till this time, do you have any question at that point that when the file format is a cross-tab format, that means a same particular or same attribute have multiple headers, that is known as cross-tab file, versus flat file have every attribute have his own number. So whenever you have a cross-tab file data, you may face multiple difficulties while converting those data, as well as manipulating or transforming those data into meaningful insights. So for that, to converting cross-tab data to flat file data, you can use a unpivot table option, what we seen earlier, ultimately, which help you to create uh, advanced level insights on the same data. The next question is, 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 is. Okay. Bagade Amol has raised one question with respect to what if there are different columns in any month file. So this is very good question, first of all, because this is a practical question. If you work, so though it is agreed that if the data is flowing from a specific ERP or government website, there might be a chance that the columns will be the same. But what happened if the different columns are coming in every month? Suppose assume there might be a column X which has been added into next month. So that will not be an issue, because if a new column get added, that column will get date. Suppose April month there are 10 columns. In May month there are 11 columns. So what will happen? That 11th column will get automatically appended into new file, and that file will have 11 columns with April data will be nil. But but if there are 11 columns in A and 11 columns in B, but the headers are different, then there will be an issue and the data will show some error that columns are not matching. Kindly check. So you have to ensure that at least one file columns are, suppose whichever the file is there, the column should be there in another file. At least one file columns should be there in another file. If there is any discrepancy in the header names, there will be an error, and that has to be taken care manually. And that will definitely shown in today's tomorrow's session, because we have our big area left, that is merging of table along with pivot table, even a basic pivot table also. So that will be taken care in next session, but there will be no issues. Then it will really help. Okay, correct. If I lose any data of Excel, please show a recovery method. So Lokesh Kumar Jesani. So if you have facing any issues, suppose there might be a chance that your file get deleted, or you can say it get corrupted or something like that. So you, or even the worst thing is like that you have an open file, you work upon that, but after an hour or after a half an hour you forgot to save and you just close. Okay, many times that happens. So what you can do, my screen is shared. Okay, so if you see, there is one option, recover unsaved workbooks. Okay, you can click here and you can get a unsaved workbook if that uh, that files are open more than your auto recovery time which has been scheduled in your system. Suppose your auto recovery time scheduled in your system is 10 minutes. Then if your file is more than open more than 10 minutes, that will automatically get saved here. Okay, and the time duration for which that file will be there is also, it's upon you. If you want to say that all unsaved file will be there for last 1 month, so then that can be there. But usually after 7 days, that all those files get deleted. Okay, but usually you can, but don't increase the duration less than 10 minutes. Ultimately that will creating another file, and ultimately this will hamper your what you can say performance, and uh, consume your data also. And data, that means storage of your laptop and computer. So you can search on Google how you can improve on auto recovery of the data. That is very easy. Okay, I would take 2 minute bio break. Okay, yes, you are very nice, useful, because okay, write some data. Okay, Rohit Kadam. Okay, so Rohit facing some issue with respect to option chain NSC data. Okay, let me see the data first. Yeah. Okay, this data. Okay. No, first of all, NSC from this new site, they will not allow you to download the data. For downloading the data, you have to go to the download option. So this we are going to take care in our tomorrow's session, because on this basis, I want to show you the live dashboards and all. So I guess Rohit is there. Na? So Rohit, don't worry. We are going to, along with that merging data, this will be there. Okay, okay, okay. I guess these are the only questions. So, okay. So, so do anybody have any questions or need some any clarity? So I can answer. Okay. Seems no questions from either end. So in tomorrow's, okay, there is one VBA programming and Power Query difference. Okay. No, the biggest in the layman perspective, if someone asks me what is the difference between VBA programming